Welcome to the wonderful world of dance, bringing you exclusive interviews with top dancers and choreographers and reviews of the world's best companies across the globe. You can find lots more on our website at thewonderfulworldofdance.com.
Hi, this is Savannah Saunders from The Wonderful World of Dance, and today I'm going to be talking with two dancers who are currently on tour with Akram Khan's company, and they are on a worldwide tour starting in Oslo in Norway, heading over to Singapore, London, the States, Canada, and more. And I'm really excited to be introducing Nicolas Ricchini, who was born in the Philippines but grew up and studied dance in France, and Greek-born dancer Dennis Alamanos, who join us from Oslo. Hi, how are you guys going?
Hi, we're very good, thank you. Hello.
Hi, so you're in Oslo at the moment and I'm in London. How are things going?
Things go very well. We had our first performances today, 2 performances here in Oslo, in Dansens House, and we have 6 more shows to give, and the next shows are coming to the Chotto Desh is coming to Sadler's Wells in London, Lillian Bailey's, and we have a few shows there, so we're very excited.
Looking forward to the company coming back to London. One of my favorite companies, I have to say. I'm a huge fan. But before we sort of talk more about the company, let's talk about your own dance careers. So tell us how, and I guess how old were you and why did you start dancing in the first place? If Nicolas, you want to go first, and then Dennis?
Yes, of course. So I really started training for dance when I was 18 years old, but I had been practicing dance since I was 8 years old, and I actually started the very first time when I was 8 because I was looking through the door, and my sister was doing a dance class, and I really enjoyed it. And at some point, the dance teacher said, why don't you just come in and try out? And I tried and I really enjoyed it, so I kept doing it for a few years, but really for a hobby. And not until when I was 18, actually, I decided to have a proper training. And I decided it again because of my sister. Well, thanks to my sister, let's say, because she was very interested and she was almost in love, let's say, with a pop singer in France. And we won like 2 tickets to do a dance workshop with him. So my sister was going to see him, and I was going for the dance workshop, basically. And on our way back in the bus from the workshop, my sister told me, you know what, if you don't try to dance and to be a professional dancer, you will really regret it for the rest of your life. And that really said something to me. And as soon as I arrived home, I started to look into professional dance schools. So yeah, that's how I started.
It's quite, 18 is quite late to decide to become a professional dancer. Was it daunting, sort of thinking, well, you're already 18 and you've got to now really think about becoming professional?
Well, it was quite challenging, but I told my parents because the plan was for me. I really wanted to be a university teacher in German, which is a completely different other thing. But when I decided to do it, I really received their support, even though they were a bit worried at the beginning. And any parent, I think, would be worried about this kind of change because it was quite sudden. But they really helped me and they really supported me all the way through. So yeah, I've been very lucky.
Your parents must be very proud, I have to say. Now, Dennis, tell us about your journey into dance.
Well, yeah, and I was saying for me, dance was a way to research movement. So it was just a vessel to research more movement in my body in connection with my mind and spirit as well. And so it was always and still is more important to research movement. So I started when I was a kid. I started with martial arts. I did some karate when I was a kid, and I followed some sports like basketball, and I did also some acrobatics. And then as a teenager, I started doing hip hop. I was very, I'd say, I liked a lot Michael Jackson and a hip hop style called crump.
Mm-hmm.
Then, as I wanted to become more and more, I wanted to become professional, and I wanted to follow certain training and a more specific way of moving my body and learning. So I joined a school in Athens, a state school of dance in Athens, and then from there I continued and did more contemporary and ballet and some other techniques. And and they followed the journey took me here in working with Akram Khan and performing Chotto Desh. So this is like in few words, that's my story.
So both of you have, been involved in dance since you were really young, but actually, it wasn't until your late teens where you really decided to become, professional dancers. And as you say, your individual journeys have led you to working with Akram Khan and going on tour with his company. What inspired you to join his company? I mean, his work is very specific. As I say, I'm a huge fan of his work, and particularly I love Chotto Desh. I love all of his work, actually. I think I've seen everything that's come to London. So what inspired you to join his company?
I think I was very inspired by, as you said, it's such a specific work, such specific and detailed movement. And I think that's the kind of thing that I was really attracted to, because over the years before starting working with Akram, I've had the chance to work with other choreographers who were really paid a lot of attention to the detail of the movement, a great focus also on the work that you can do with your arms and with your fingers and with your hands. And I think all this kind of led me to this work and led me to really get interested into Akram's work. And it's so precise, and sometimes I even think that the different choreographers I worked with before kind of prepared me and prepared my body and my mind to work with him. And it's just something casual, something that happened like this. But I like to think that somehow something made me work with all these choreographers before working with the company. Okay, and for me it was when I started studying contemporary dance, I was lost and also have very mixed feelings. I wasn't sure if I want to continue studying and researching contemporary dance. And I was very lucky that at that moment, Desh, Akram Khan's Desh, the solo came to Athens, where I was studying, and a friend said to me, "Oh, you have to see this." And so I went to the theater and I watched it, and it really motivated me, inspired me to continue dancing. And because it was not, it was something, for me, it was something magical at the moment, because I saw how you can mix things and how you can talk also about a story and do also many other things in a show. So that inspired me, and from that moment I kind of like researching the work of Akram Khan and trying to get more and more information. And I was even more lucky that at one point when I was still in the school, I was lucky to perform the repertoire, vertical road repertoire for the company of the school, and I was even more inspired by that. And then after a year, I saw the audition happening for Chotto Desh, and I sent I sent my name, I sent all the info, and here I am now with Nicolas here. We performed 3 years together. And it's a nice journey so far. So really had a very nice time exploring the company, doing these two works. Very nice.
For listeners who have not come across Akram Khan's work or are looking forward to the company and yourselves coming to perform in their cities, could you try and describe, in your own words, I guess, and through your own experience, how would you describe Akram Khan's work and what audiences can expect to see?
I think for this specific work, for Chotto Desh, I would say you will really see the journey of how someone fights for his dreams and for his or her dreams, and I think it's a very beautiful work in the sense that it is not only about the dance. Actually, sometimes you actually forget in some scenes that you are watching dance because there is a lot of like theatrical aspects to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of elements that come outside from the stage that come in with us and kind of make the audience forget that it's a solo, because the piece is a solo, and it's also a visual journey, I think, for everyone, because there is a beautiful animation which we interact with, and it's a really beautiful part of the show.
Yes, and I have to add to it that especially for Chotto Desh, that is something for everybody that can come to see it, from 6 years old, from small children, and up until and the adults, and they can come to see it. And also not in one language we did it in more languages. Like we did 6 languages. We did in French, we did in Italian, we did it in Japanese, and also we had shows that we had also translated it in subtitles or in the partial translation, and for other countries as well. And it was a nice experience to be able to perform to especially to children in those young ages, and to see the responses.
Yeah, tell us about what the responses have been from the children, because you don't instantly think Akram Khan children, in terms of an audience. So
it's been quite very, very interesting, because of course Akram produced the work, but the direction of the piece is actually made by a Subak master. Who works with theater rights, and it was amazing to have her on this piece, because she has this amazing capacity to bring a piece that is not necessarily thought for children into something that the children can really enjoy. And I think she really managed to find the right spots and the right moments to talk to the children, because it's really not an easy thing, because we tend, I think, as adults, sometimes we tend to think that we kind of have to make things easy for the children to understand it, but it's really not about this. You just have to make the things in a very honest way, because the children are very, you can't lie to them.
Yeah.
They definitely let you know if they are bored, if they don't like it, and they will definitely let you know if they really like it, and if their reactions are so spontaneous that you definitely see what the audience is feeling.
Yeah, it was also very interesting to see the response, to get feedback from families that came to see the show, because inside the show you can see the relationship between a father and a son, a grandmother and the grandchild. So it was very interesting to see the family audience getting together and seeing the show, and then going out the theater feeling having all these questions about also the relationship and what's happening between the minds of each other.
It's definitely, as you say, a work that speaks to adults, families, children, which is fantastic to be able to bring so many different types of audiences together. I'm interested to understand sort of what the process was working in the studio on this piece, sort of, as you spent some time preparing for taking this piece on tour. You said you've been working on this for 3 years, but tell us about the process you went through in the studio.
Yeah, so as I mentioned before, the direction of the show was assumed by Subak Master, and choreography. We were working also with Jose Agudo, who has been working with Akram who had been working with Akram for a long time, and he was actually very close to him for all the tour of Desh, which made him one of the best person to really pass the work, and it's been very challenging as dancers, I think, because the work, of course, is very physically demanding, and also because we were exploring a lot of new. It was still a new creation, even though it was kind of a remake. Because in the end, we stayed with half of the material from the original piece from Desh, and half of it is a new material that we created. And we only had 6 weeks to do it, so it was quite challenging, I would say, but still we managed to have a very great time.
Yeah, it's true, and very it's important for the shows also, because the piece is still developing while having more and more performances. So at that moment we have done around 320 performances. So we had a lot of time after the creation period to develop it throughout the years.
Yeah. I can imagine over 320 different performances that you must, do you try and bring something new every time, or how do you sort of, as artists, stay fresh when you're, re-performing the work?
Yeah, I mean, we had the chance to have a great team around, and also during the creation and along the beginning of the tour, we had the chance to have Amy Butler as a rehearsal director, and she really took care of the whole development at the very early stages of the tour, because I think it was actually quite challenging. You have a huge responsibility as a rehearsal director at the beginning of a tour to really make sure that the show is going in the right direction, because it's still in early stages, it's still developing, but also so you have to let enough room for it to evolve, but also you have to stay very true to what is the essence of it. So it was very interesting to do it, and it was very good to be working with her. And still we have people coming.
And this is the challenge for us, to go out every time and feel and perform like it's the very first time. But for example, I had a moment that I was very I didn't have so much motivation. And I remember clearly that we were performing around France, and we were going to places smaller cities that we had to perform in not big theaters. And then asked myself, and I gave myself this. I said to myself that we are here, and kids will come, and that kids cannot go to the big theaters. They cannot see the show in the big theaters. They cannot travel. They are far. But now this is the moment. This is the opportunity for them to give them this message and pass this message of this show that this show gives to the children and to the family audience. So every time since then, I just say this to myself. This is all I need to know, that every time we go there, it's important to pass this message and and it's enough to boost you and give you the energy, and also to take you to this level and atmosphere that you feel like it's another new show. It's a new show. It's the first one, still the first one.
It's really interesting you say that, because you both talked about how you were inspired by people that you saw, dancers you saw when you were growing up. And I, when I was really young and I loved, dancing and we went to the theatre a lot. I still remember some of the performances that I saw as a really young child that have stayed with me forever, and the impact that you will have on these families and on the conversations and on individuals and on the adults will stay with them potentially for the rest of their lives. And that's quite an extraordinary opportunity to be able to leave such an impression.
Yeah, it's an incredible opportunity, and that's what we really try to think when we are on stage, because I can remember some of the performances that really impacted me when I was younger, and I wish I could find the performers or the directors and tell them, because I was maybe I think I was too young to remember really what I saw and really who it was and so on. But I really wish I could tell thank you, because you really inspired me. I had the chance that I've been very inspired by one of my sport teacher when I was at school, and I had the chance after to invite him to see Chotto Desh and to kind of thank him for all this, because it's also because of him that I'm here.
And to add to this, it's it's great that all these places we went around Europe, especially Europe, and the places that we went outside of Europe, that they programmed and they scheduled the shows for the kids, because when you're a kid, you see things, but you don't remember. But they are they are there. They are subconsciously they are there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's very nice from those places and all these organizations and theaters that we went, that they organize all those kids to come. Like, for example, a nice example is that when we performed in Stratford Circus Theatre in Stratford, that the mayor there, he organized for 4,000 kids to come and see the show. So we have like 20 shows.
Wow.
And for free. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, so it was very nice. Like, not only this, but also other places we went and we performed for kids, and the schools came and buses came. Like with France, we did many performances like this for school audience, and yes, this is what that was a nice thing, and I hope they will continue doing this.
Absolutely. And life on the road must be very interesting, going to different places. Do you have something that you're looking forward to in the tour? You said you're coming to London to perform at Sadler's Wells, Lillian Baylis studio. What are you looking forward to the most when you come to London?
Nice.
Actually, yeah. I mean, it's been a long time we haven't been at the Sadler's Wells and at the Lillian Baylis. So I really have a very good memories from being there, because the space is very intimate, so it gives the show a very different perspective. As a performer, I think it's very interesting to do it there, and it makes it very special.
It's also very special because of the now Chotto Days is gonna finish soon. So we're gonna have our last performances in Europe, and it's gonna happen in London, in Sadler's, in Lillian Baylis, in Sadler's Wells. So it's very special for us, because all the company is gonna be around, and we're gonna see each other for the last shows in Europe, and that makes it even more special. Every show is very important. Every show is special. But after Sadler's Wells, we are going to USA. We're going to perform in California, in San Francisco, in Davis University, and after that we're gonna go to Canada, and we're gonna perform in Calgary and Vancouver. And then we're gonna Chotto is gonna finish. So At least that's the schedule for now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's quite a schedule, isn't it? That's a lot of exciting cities to look forward to. I was going to ask, as you say, Chotto Desh is coming to the end of its tour for the moment, after this grand tour that you're on. You're both freelance dancers, and I'm interested to talk to you about what sort of life as a freelance dancer, I guess, in terms of, why you chose this path rather than joining, one company. Although you've been with Akram's company for 3 years, what does life look like for you as a freelance dancer? And perhaps, Dennis, if you want to start.
Yes. Well, one thing that's also very, very important for me is that being freelance is that I have the freedom that I want, and also creating work and choreographing work and dancing in what I create is also very, very important for me to do, and it takes me to a creative process that I really enjoy. So it's more you can say it's more risky, because you always have to research and always have to find the next work and the next show and the next performance and the next collaboration. But when I first decided in Greece, especially to become a dancer, it was a risk anyway. It was a risk at the beginning. So I'm gonna take it to the end.
Yeah,
and I really enjoying being a freelancer, and looking forward after we finish with Chotto Desh to to go full on and 100% on my work and continue from there.
Yeah, I think that's the aspect of freedom that freelancing gives you is one of the main reasons that most freelancers do it, because really it gives you the opportunity to really feed yourself with very different kind of artistic visions and perspectives, and it's one of the best ways, I think, to also keep growing and evolving as an artist also.
And you mentioned there about, Dennis, your choreography. And you guys, you met 3 years ago. You've been on the road, 320 shows, but you also work collaboratively together outside of the Akram Khan Company. And Dennis, you're the choreographer, and Nicolas, you do the producing. Is this right? Do you want to talk to me about the projects that you're working on?
It's true. This is true, and I'm very very happy about it. Well, because we met each other 3 years ago, and during the period until now, we were in the in-between times that we have big breaks. We're trying to do our work and to try to find our way into choreography. I was trying to find my way into choreography and dancing. So I'm very inspired by the animals, nature, and native civilizations, and then I started doing some works and start making a work. And then Nico was around. He was making his plans for the future, and then I asked him one day in a breakfast. I remember it was a breakfast room. We were in a hotel for some performance. Maybe it was in France, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I asked Nico. He was making his plans, becoming a producer and managing company. So I asked him, why? I mean, we are going well with each other. We have a good relationship. We're good friends. So would you like to work together? So, and he had a thoughts, and now we are together and doing more things. And this is very, very exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting to be bringing our friendship to another level also, because we've known each other for now pretty long time, and we know each other a lot because we've been on tour. So it's not like you just see each other just like three hours in the day. We almost live together.
Yeah.
And definitely, I mean, when Dennis told me to do this project together, I was very excited about it. Of course, I had a thought because also I kind of need my process to to make the decisions. But once we started, I mean, and now it's going very well. We have a premiere coming soon next week. Yeah, we're pretty excited about all the projects. Also, we have a new production coming up next June. So things are going very well.
Fantastic. And Dennis, tell us a little bit about your choreographic language or your movement style. What can people expect from your work?
Yes. Well, it all started. Also started around since also the beginning of Chotto Desh, like 3 years ago. I started together with Danai Dimitriadi, that were very interested on making it. Well, we started off. We wanted to choreograph just a 10-minute a duet of 10 minutes length, and we were inspired by the animals, a lot of the animals, and from the nature. And because, we're also both vegans, and we try to connect and try to make our own activism through our work. So, but in our way, and we want to show the beautiness of this animal, the snow leopard, and the mountains of Nepal and the Himalayan mountains. So yeah, we went down and we choreographed this 10-minute version called Unsia, and since then we did some performances in Greece, and then we said, okay, let's try to perform also outside of Greece and around Europe. And just recently we managed we joined a competition in Rotterdam, in Holland, Rotterdam competition for duets, and then we were lucky enough to win the first prize, the competition there. And beginning of next year, hopefully if we schedule it right, everything's gonna go well. We're gonna start a new production with working with an organization from Rotterdam Theatre. And also now, as Nico said, is our premiere on the 6th of October in Bulgaria, in Plovdiv. And there we're going to show the extension of the duet, the 10-minute length duet, which is now 50-minute work called Atma.
Okay.
And I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice for you to see it. Come and see it.
Wow, I'd love to. My goodness, that would be amazing, I have to say. I just wanted to finally ask you as well, with this extraordinary journey that you're on, and you're obviously, still progressing your careers. You've got lots of work on and your own projects, which are going really well. What advice would you have for other aspiring freelance dancers or freelance creators who are thinking about, as you say, this potentially risky but also very exciting type of life and this type of dance life as a freelancer? What advice?
Yeah. Well, I would like to say that now the time that we live now is that everything happens fast. A lot of information, which is most of it not so good as well. So I would like to say, for sure, stay original and try to be yourself all the time. And also because, as I said, all the things happen fast. I would say not to chase fame and success. Like try to follow your own rhythm and try to have your own rhythm and to find your own path and your own steps and be original, as I said, and be patient and work a lot. It needs to work a lot and work hard and always motivate and be passionate about your work. And even if you have hard times, that's the most important times to learn, because everybody, when we have a good time and everything goes well, that's great. We can have fun, we can enjoy it. But what happens when the hard times come? And because a lot of young artists have a hard time to find collaboration, to find work, and to find even space or money or support. So, but from these hard times, grab these hard times and learn and develop from them, because that's the moment when the boat is inside the waves and it's shaking a lot. Just that's the moment to grow stronger. So I would say this, and if you are passionate about your work, everything will go well, and you will find your happiness through that.
Yeah, I would just, I mean, what Dennis said is very true, and I think it's so important for freelancers and for artists now to really follow these advices. I personally think it's very important to do things with your heart. That's kind of like the little message, the little thing I have written on my computer all the time. So I remember to do it. Just to do it with your heart, and also that consistency or constancy.
Consistency
is kind of the key of the success in a way, because it's as Dennis said, you have to be patient and you have to work hard, and it has to be something from every day and every moment, because it's hard. There is you have to be real. So it's hard. It's not an easy industry also.
No.
And you have to work hard and make sure that you do things with your heart, but also you work and give your soul and body to it. And yeah,
absolutely. I think that's absolutely amazing advice. And as you say, it is difficult. And I know those words of advice will be very encouraging for those listeners wanting to follow into your footsteps. So thank you so much for talking to us. I am so excited to see you at the show when you come to London. And I know that, you're taking, or the company is taking, as you say, the tour off to the States and other pieces that are being performed, which, again, as I mentioned, I loved. So check out Akram Khan's website for the sort of global dates, and that's akramkhancompany.net. And for the dates for Chotto Desh in London at Sadler's Wells, go to sadlerswells.com. And they're here from the 18th to the 20th of October. Now, don't forget also to follow Nico and follow Dennis. So Nico's Instagram is, and you can find this on the website in case you don't get this when I spell it, at Living by Nico is Nick's Instagram, and Facebook for Dennis is DANAEDIONYSOS. And I hope that I got that right. But as I say, check the website because it'll be on there, and definitely be able to click straight through in any case. Thank you so much for talking to us, guys. See you soon in London.
Thank you very much. A pleasure.
Thank you very much. See you soon.
Don't forget to subscribe. We've got some incredible interviews coming up with principal ballerinas and renowned choreographers. We love dance and ballet, and we hope you'll love us. Join us on Facebook and Twitter.